Hey everyone, back at it. Today I want to show you guys a few more comics. So disclaimer, this is a comic video. No cards, no baseball, nothing. So not your cup of tea, totally fine. Move on along. But let's get into it. So these are mainly kind of like dollar bin rummage finds, but with maybe a couple others that I paid a little bit more for. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first couple books I'm going to show you guys are kind of Japan related. So you might know if you watched my last comic video that I like seeing depictions of Japan, Japanese people, Japanese culture, particularly in Western media. I just like to see how things are portrayed. The first one I've got here is Daredevil and She. This is from 1996 with cover art by Jamal Igle and Al Williamson. 96. I believe this might be a one-shot. I don't remember. Dollar bin find here. She is the Japan-related aspect of this. She is a Japanese-American woman with a Japanese father and a mother who was a Christian missionary. And her father, who studied the martial arts, somehow ran afoul of the Yakuza or something like that and was murdered. And she went to live with her grandfather and underwent training and became kind of a assassin vigilante kind of thing. So, Daredevil and She from 96. Let's see here. Okay, so speaking of Daredevil, this is Daredevil 197 from 1983. This is cover art by Bill Sienkiewicz. Daredevil 197. So this is notable Japan-related. You might be able to vaguely see that from the cover with the kanji everywhere here. But this is the first appearance of Yuriko Oyama, who is known as Lady Deathstrike. I think she's more of a Wolverine character villain, if I'm not mistaken. But Marvel. So she made her debut in Daredevil 197. What I thought was interesting about this one was I enjoyed kind of taking this cover in and looking at the some of the writing here is actually legible and kind of makes sense, and some of it is. For example, this up here. I do wonder where the artist, who I assume does not know Japanese or another Chinese, a language that would use Chinese characters. I don't know where he, got these, but, clearly does not know how to write them, but he could kind of mimic. So this one is actually legible. This says Minshusha, which Minshu actually means democracy. And Sha, if it said Minshu Shakai and there was an extra character, that would say something like democratic society. So this one is kind of almost like it's actually almost intelligible. But some of these just look like random spider webs. I can see this is definitely supposed to be the kanji for woman, and this is for this looks like probably man. And then this looks like horn, like a horn. So anyway, kind of rando. I do wonder how. And then these down here are nothing. They look like random spider webs or something. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know how this cover art is sort of Anyway, talking too long about that. So Daredevil 197, pretty cool. And it's also a first appearance to boot. This was not in the dollar bin, but I didn't pay too much for it. Maybe $10. Let's see here. Okay, so this one, this is Wayward #1. And this is an indie book from Image, which is the third largest comics publisher after DC and Marvel, as you might know if you're sticking with me on this video. So this has cover art by Stephen Cummings. So this is a story, I have not read this yet, but after getting this issue and looking inside, I actually really want to read this, so I probably will. So this is Wayward #1. This is the story of an Irish girl who moves to Japan to reunite with her estranged mother, and ends up getting wrapped up in all kinds of monstery, spirity kind of stuff, yokai and things like that. Now, I flipped through this, and I have to say I was actually really pleasantly surprised and actually very excited to read this when I opened it up. I don't know if the story's going to be good or not, but for example, this spread right here, fabulous. This is actually, so this is Ikebukuro East Station entrance. This is no joke. I can walk to this location. It's 20 minutes from where I live. So, and very, very accurately rendered. It's almost uncanny. So, it's stuff like that. You know, what I will say is that generally the image of Japan, I would say, that is depicted in Western media. So you see this kind of street corner with this all looks very honest. How it actually looks here. So back to what I was saying, I think a lot of times depictions of Japan, particularly urban Japan, like in the Western mind, it's kind of this Blade Runner kind of neon everywhere, and kind of, which is not actually really true. But this comic actually looks like the backgrounds are fabulous. They look like they're pretty. They actually portray the environment pretty accurately. So yeah, Wayward #1. What I will say also is that I think it's a good idea to pick up this. If you collect comics, definitely pick this up. I don't think it's that expensive. I paid, I think, 600 yen for this, with which the crappy exchange rate, that's probably like $4. This was a 30-issue run, so probably an indie title that ran 30 issues. The chances that this gets picked up for adaptation, for example, as a TV series or an anime, I think I heard when I looked it up that you know, it's been optioned, which does not mean it will be created into something, but the chances that a 30-issue run from Image Comics, the chances that it gets developed into some kind of, you know, TV series or you know, animated series, pretty high, I would say. So Wayward #1, definitely one I'm excited to start reading, and I would say if you collect comics, definitely pick this one up. You know, the indie titles, I think, are a good idea to pick up. If you like, you know, getting #1s or whatever for spec, or you know, if they make it into a movie or something like that, because of course there's all these streaming companies now, you know, Netflix, and so on, Amazon Prime, and they all want to create content. And they're constantly trying to mine, you know, comics and other sources for content. But it, you know, with Marvel, you know, Disney will just do Marvel, and they'll do it on Disney Plus or whatever. And, you know, DC, I guess that's Warner Brothers. So, yeah, but the indies, you know, they're always trying to, like, pick up these properties to develop into shows and stuff. So, Wayward #1, very high chance, I think, this one takes off at some point. Image, too, especially with the success of, like, Invincible and stuff. Alright, anyway, rambling about that one too long. Let's move on to a couple... well, one of these is, this is a dollar bin. I was really happy to find this in a dollar bin. This is, so we're moving away from Japan now. This is Omega Men #5. So Omega Men #5, this is from 1983, with cover art by Keith Griffin and Mike DeCarlo. So this one is, yeah, like I said, dollar bin find. And it's also got this cool Tron on the back. This is the second appearance of Lobo, and it's actually the first time that he is referred to by name. So the first, you know, mention of his name, Lobo. Of course, his first appearance, Lobo's first appearance, was Omega Men #3. So, and this book is dirt cheap. It's next to nothing. Of course, Omega Men 3, you're going to pay 10 times or more for a copy, and probably much more, 10 to 15 times more. So, anyway, Lobo, right? Again, if you're watching this video, you probably know Lobo. Lobo is a kind of intergalactic, you know, bounty hunter, mercenary kind of dude. He's a little bit almost like the DC version of Deadpool. You know, Lobo, I think he's appeared in maybe some kind of TV show. Not much. I mean, I don't know if Lobo, he's kind of, I feel like he might be sort of, dated, almost. He's very, crude, and he's got a lot of, like, 90s tude. Like, he's kind of, so, I don't know if Lobo, but anyway, Lobo, he's, you know, he's definitely a fairly significant DC character. This is Lobo #1, from 1990, with cover art by Simon Beasley. So this is the first issue of, like, the first Lobo title series. Really cool cover. This one I did not. This was not a dollar bin find. Dollar bin find, not a dollar bin find. I think I paid $10 for this one. But I like the back too. It's like Atari Lynx, like trying to crap on the Game Boy. We'll see how that worked out. Yeah. Anyway, funny. I like advertising. So yeah, Lobo. So this is the first Lobo origin series, and this is also the origin of Lobo, which makes it significant. So yeah, Omega Men 5 you can pick up for like a few bucks, like next to nothing, cover price basically. Well, not that cheap. Inflation and all that. Okay, I'm almost done here, guys. Let's move on to, oh yeah, now this was an awesome dollar bin find. I got, this is from 2002, this is Harley Quinn #24. Man, this cover is just freaking hilarious. Yeah, so cover art by Carlo Barberi. Carlo Barberi. This is from 2002. Harley Quinn 24. I just picked this up because it was in a dollar bin, and I thought the cover was hilarious. And I was actually with, you know, Harley's boobs all over it, and it's so absurd. But I was actually pretty. I got this for like in the dollar bin, like I said, but I was actually kind of surprised when I checked eBay later, and I saw this book going for like upwards of $20 on eBay, and I'm not quite sure why this would be going for $20, other than probably lowish print run. Harley has become a pretty popular character, and I mean, this book, it's already 20 years old. And I think also maybe as a little bit of a novelty. Well, I mean, I don't want to call this a novelty, but it's got a sort of a 9/11 remembrance on the bottom here. And there is actually a little bit of a thoughtful write-up about 9/11 because, of course, this happened, about a year after 9/11. So, but anyway, Harley Quinn 24. I don't know. Check the dollar bins for this one. And let's do one more. So finally, I've got, this was not a dollar bin find, but it was, I think, just a really good pickup. I believe, again, so the theme here is it's either dollar bin or I paid about $10 for it. So this is Teen Titans number 2 from 1966 with cover art by Nick Cardy. Nick Cardy. Not Cardi B, but Nick Cardy. Teen Titans number 2. Some Silver Age goodness here. This is not what would be called a key issue for any reason. I just, for the $10 or whatever I paid for it, I think Teen Titans, this is number 2. This is the second Teen Titans thing ever. So, of course, the number 1, far pricier. You're going to pay, several times more for number 2. Teen Titans, I mean, I would say it's kind of been out of the limelight for a while-ish. Of course, I would say probably the most popular mainstream sort of thing involving Teen Titans was probably the 2000s cartoon series on Cartoon Network that I enjoyed as a teenager when it came out. So Teen Titans, I mean, it's very long running, and it had the very critically acclaimed and fan acclaimed cartoon series in the 2000s. And I think it's just one of those things where it's inevitable that Teen Titans will either sort of come back to relevance in some way, or, I mean, a lot of the characters, Robin, Cyborg, Beast Boy, like all those guys are pretty, they're staples. So anyway, Teen Titans number 2, I think this is an awesome pickup for any collection. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. As always, thanks for watching. Peace.